This week I will be looking at fraction circles for my manipulative. This is a fraction circle. A fraction circle is a great tool for students as it can be easily manipulated and broken into pieces. So for example, we can break our circle, our whole, into two parts, two equal parts. We can also break it into thirds, three equal parts, and so forth. And we can do this up until 12 in this kit, and higher in other kits and less in additional kits. So the first activity that I would do with students is to help them understand the language of fractions and understand what you can break your whole into. First, I would look at establishing that this is our whole piece. This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for one whole. When we break this apart, we no longer have a whole, but only a piece of that whole. Next, I would establish which each part was. So this is our one. This is because it is one piece. One piece is all it takes to make a whole. This is our half, or our tooths. It takes two pieces in order to make our whole. The kids can stack it to see that when you put these two pieces together, our tooths make a whole. I would then move on to looking at our thirds, again establishing that it is going to take three pieces to make a whole. I would do this activity until all the pieces had been shown that it would take four pieces when we have a quarter or fourths, stacking them on the circle so that they can see when all the pieces are stacked. It makes an entire whole. After I did this, I would assess the kids' knowledge on how well they know this by using the same circles and asking them to compare size. So I have 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 1/5. And I would pick them out of order. And I would ask the kids, can you please rank these, the largest piece to the smallest piece, indicating that that is how much each is worth. So we have 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 1/5, and then I would ask them, so if we have 1/5, is that greater than having 1/2? If they understand that 1/5 is a smaller piece than 1/2 on the circle, then they're able to move on to more challenging tasks. An additional activity that I do using this manipulative in class is adding fractions. These are really good to add fractions because you can show the kids using the circles and stacking the circles what each piece makes. So for an easy one, I would say what is 1/2 of the circle plus 2/4 or 2/4. The kids could then put the pieces together and see that this makes a whole. So next, I do something a little more challenging, where I might ask the kids, what is 1/4 plus 1/3? They're able to put it together and see that this does not make a full. This does not make a whole. Instead, they're going to have to add more pieces to make a whole. Then they can play around with the pieces and see that it might take several pieces to make a whole. In this example, 2/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/12 makes a whole. These circles can also be used for subtraction. If I have 1 whole and I subtract half, how much do I have left? So if I have 1 whole and I subtract half, I have 1/2 of the original circle, the original whole, left over. So it's very multifunctional manipulative, and it can be used in any grade to establish the relationships between